Something different today. We're here in Milan and we're at the Villa Necchi. If you're here for the car stuff, bear with me. There'll be a little bit towards the end. Now, I've been intrigued and captivated by the Villa Necchi ever since watching Luca Guadagnino's I Am Love with Tilda Swindon, which is a remarkable film, part of his Love trilogy. You might have seen A Bigger Splash. That's his most accessible, I guess, well, maybe not accessible, most seen film. Maybe not most seen. Anyway, probably the easiest watch. Which few car buffs has got a Lancia Flavia spider in it. Features. But yeah, it's not really what it's about. That's quite good. And it's not about Hockney's painting either. But there we are. We'll move on from there. So, the Villa Necchi is the Necchi family, or Necchi, I don't know how you pronounce it exactly. They were industrialists from Pavia, the monastic town outside of Milan. And they moved to Milan and took to that lifestyle, became very involved. The family business was foundries, and Industrial Revolution. They've made a lot of money out of that, and so commissioned this amazing villa to be built. Architect.Piero Portaluppi was commissioned in 1932 to design the villa, and it is really rather remarkable. Now, it features heavily in the film I Am Love. There's a great scene in the kitchen, which you'll see is quite a remarkable kitchen. It's all bespoke built. And yeah, I was sort of really taken with it. And it's so very Milanese, this house that was in this film, that I was really drawn to it. It's quite a austere film. And the house was very austere in the film. But it stuck with me, and once I discovered where it was and what it was, and that it's open to the public, well, I had to go and see it. And then upon the visit, I made another discovery of something really rather wonderful, which we'll get to in a bit. So there's many artworks within the villa. You'll see we've got a Matisse here, beautiful line drawing. And lots of other stuff like that. But what I did discover, which I was really rather taken with, was Felice Casarati, and his work. Now, Casarati was influenced by Gustav Klimt, so a lot of his early work looks like that, or a few of his early paintings look like that. Very much sort of early Picasso as well. Pre-abstraction, the sort of early work. Much, if you look at Picasso's self-portrait in 1906, I think, it's very similar his work to that. And a lot of still life, which I like. Particularly like painting bowls and eggs for some reason. Anyway, there we are. Casarati's 1924 painting, The Concert, that is obviously sort of reminiscent or a homage to Botticelli's The Three Graces, although rather more peachy in its delivery. Anyway, I'll get in trouble for saying things like that. But anyway, yes, yeah. Obviously interested in painting flesh, so yes, there we are. But what we're really here to look at, and what will be of interest to you, is the painting in the basement. Monument to the Fallen in Racing, which, as you'll see, is comparing it to the sort of gladiatorial nature of early racing, all the dangers of the 1930s, when motor racing really was dangerous and gladiatorial. So you can see it's very much sort of Alfa Romeo inspired, looks like the early Ferrari racing stuff. When Enzo was running the Alfa Romeo racing team, that style of image. But on research, Casaretti was also known for that Fiat poster. The stylised one where the little Fiat 600 is pictured above Florence. Well, that's Casaretti, which is a fairly well-known image if you're into your old car stuff. So I thought that was interesting. So there you are, a little bit of car stuff snuck in to the Villa Necchi. Now, the Necchi family are also well known for production of sewing machines, which seems a bit something or nothing now, doesn't it? You sort of think of sewing machines as the Singer sewing machine in the adorning a pub in the UK to make it look pretty. But obviously, in their day, it was a coveted item, extremely expensive, but also with the sewing machine, it was a way of making a bit of money on the side. You could make clothes, sell them, do repairs, all sorts of things. And to that end, Singer were one of the first companies to offer a wide hire purchase scheme. So their salesmen would go around trying to promote this. And the idea was that your instalments could be covered by the work you'd take on by doing these repairs for people and so on. So it made every sense to sign up for it. And of course, people couldn't afford these things. You couldn't buy these things outright back then. Much like today, how this stuff works. Many people wouldn't be buying new cars if they couldn't have it on the sort of well, anyway, on a scheme, on a payment scheme, much like everything else in life. And that's how people can afford things. Otherwise, you can't afford the entry price, can you, of these things? So that is how that sort of works. So early capitalist movement with Singer sewing machines. I don't know if the Necchi sewing machine was sold in a similar manner, but it wouldn't surprise me if something similar was done, and with a similar intent that you could make a bit of money if you had this. But they obviously made a lot of money out of it, which is why they could commission this beautiful house. So, enjoy the pictures, see what you think, and did you notice the Chagall? There's a Chagall stained glass windows in a church nearby us, so I get to see a bit of Chagall fairly regularly if I bother to pop over there. But for you guys, see if you can notice it. Little test for you. Anyway, normal service resume next week? Well, tune in and you'll see.